YouTube, I'm the Bearded Brother, and today it is my pleasure to bring you one of my all-time favorite red dot sights, the Trijicon SRS. Before we go any further, please just pause the video, scroll down, hit like, hit subscribe, do all of that. I'll wait. All right, let's get into it. All right, guys, before we go any further, I should go ahead and get it out the way. This is an initial review, kind of an initial overview, if you will. I've got some, some little accessories, some knickknacks on the way. And once those come, I will give you guys a full review. I've been running this on one of my primaries for some time now, and I love it. The first time I saw this optic, I couldn't tell you. I think it was somewhere on YouTube. I want to say it was Military Arms channel. He had one of these in, and ever since then, I've wanted it. Now, again, here recently I started building a new pistol build, and I needed a red dot, something CQB suitable, if you will, and settled upon the SRS. Now, those of you guys who are Trijicon connoisseurs, optic people, if you will, you'll know that the Trijicon SRS was recently discontinued. So, unfortunately, if you're watching this video, chances are it's going to be hard for you to get one of these now. There are a lot of clones out on the internet. If that's what you're into, go for it. Not really my thing, but I did really want one of these, and I'm happy to have one in my hands. I managed to get a great deal on one of these. I don't like to tell people what I paid. The retail price on these, and I've got the B&H photo site up right now, is $1,063 is the retail price. Now, mind you, B&H has a few of these in stock right now as of December 2020. But again, I wouldn't expect to see new shipments come in. These are pretty much discontinued. Trijicon is not, they're not even on Trijicon's site anymore. If you click on SRS, you get a link to a few of the accessories, and if you click on that, it's a dead link. So it's only a matter of time before everything on the SRS is gone. And so, being a fan of this optic since the first moment I saw it, I decided I needed to grab one. I found one on Arms List. Get this, $450. So, deal of the year as far as I'm concerned. Even used, these things are going $700, $800. And most people aren't selling them because, like I said, they are discontinued. And so most glass people, Trijicon fans, they'll hold on to these. So let's go through some of the key points, and then I'll tell you guys kind of some of my experience with the optics, and then of course we'll get into the real nitty gritty once I get the full review. But some of the key features, right? It does have a 1.75 MOA reticle, so it's a rare sight. I mean, I don't think I've seen that anywhere else. Typically, you get 1 MOA, 2 MOA, or like 3.25. Pretty rare there. Of course, it's a 1x, so no zoom. Not zoom. No magnification. I'm sorry. So this is a well suited for CQB work. It's got a huge lens there. I mean, I don't know that there's any, at least circular red dot on the market with a field of view quite this large. It's like the Trijicon EOTech if they were to make one. I'm loving it. So waterproof housing. Of course, the adjustments here on the back and there on the side. Those are 1/2 MOA adjustments. Of course, it's an LED illuminated reticle. Of course, being Trijicon, it's built like a tank, so it is forced aluminum. And I've currently got the version with the thumb screws, the thumb screw flat top mount. They do make this with a Bobro QD mount. Typically that model is going to be more expensive, and of course none of them are really for sale these days, being as it is discontinued. So if you got that version, good for you. The Bobro mount and this mount are pretty much the only two options, so that's one of the limiting factors with this. It's not like the Trijicon MRO, where you've got ScalarWorks and you got American Defense Manufacturing, and you've got all these different options, LaRue, so on and so forth for mounts. Not so much with this guy. But again, I couldn't tell you guys how excited I am to have this optic. I'm not even a huge optic person. Up until recently when I purchased my Trijicon RMR, I think the most that I'd spent on an optic was probably close to $400. I kind of, once I got that Trijicon RMR, I was hooked. I mean, I'm a Trijicon person. I'm a Trijicon fanboy now. I'm not ashamed to say it. Their stuff is overpriced, but it'll last you forever. Now, the reason I like this optic, right? Let me get into it, and then I'll save all the goody, all the good stuff for the final review. The reason I like this is, one, because the field of view is fucking gigantic. I mean, it's hard to get bigger than that. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see this because I'm not behind the camera, but we're talking big. I mean, this is a huge lens on either side. I love that. I also like the fact that it is AA powered. That's not a common thing with optics. At least, nowadays they're making them smaller and smaller. You're seeing the button cell batteries being used more times than not, the 2032s. There's nothing wrong with that. Or you're seeing the CR123s being used, kind of like on the EOTechs. I like AA because it is prolific. It's the most popular battery in America, if not the planet. And so in a grid down situation, bug out situation, you can run inside of an abandoned CVS and find some batteries, or, in the back of a remote. You're never really going to be without a AA battery. The other thing I like about it, you'll probably have noticed on the top here, that is a solar cell, uncharacteristic of most Trijicons that have a light collection panel that's typically, with Trijicon, is typically used for fiber optic, light accumulation and intensification, and kind of boosting that reticle. This being a battery-powered optic, you really don't need a fiber optic illumination source, and so they went with a solar panel here. And so some of the cool things about this is whenever there's solar power, the battery's not even in use. The primary power source for this optic is the solar receptor, and whenever there is no solar, it'll automatically switch to battery. Now, it does need a battery to operate. I've tested this both with and without the battery, and we'll get into that in the extended review. But yeah, if you pop that battery out when you're not in the sun, it's not going to work. If you pop the battery out while you're in the sun, that battery's enough to, it'll kick it on. And once that, it's kind of like an engine, right? You got to have the spark plugs to get the whole cycle running. That's kind of what the battery does. But I like it just because in a potential, bug out, grid down situation, I've got both AA and solar backup. Aside from that, y'all, I don't want to give you too much now. I've got some, like I said, I got some goodies coming for this optic. I feel like I'm literally customizing the optic now. I'm going out of my way to find the accessories and little cool things for it because, like I said, it is discontinued. And so those accessories and add-ons are going to discontinue here pretty soon. But I'm just happy to have found a extremely good example, very, very lightly used, lovingly used example. It's one of the earlier models. The newer models have a raised AA battery logo here instead of the printed one. But I'll just say, look, stay tuned for the official review, y'all. I had to make some videos on this because A, I love this optic. Two, there were very few videos on YouTube about this optic. And I'm the type of person that even when I have something in my hand, I like watching different material, reading different material on it. And there's very little on this Trijicon SRS. So I've told myself, I'm going to make some content for the web, for you guys, and hopefully try to accumulate as much information and goodies about this optic as I possibly can. But this one will never be leaving my possession. I'll never let this go. I'll never sell it. Do not ask. Y'all take care of the bitter brother. I'm gone.